Welcome to Retro Crisis. In today's video I'm going to attempt to install Arch Linux, and the reason I'm doing this is I'm not very happy with the direction Windows is going in, and I haven't been for quite some time, especially since they started introducing things like ads and increased tracking, and now with the incoming AI functionality, I just find the whole experience to be a bit too intrusive. So I've been using Arch Linux in a virtual machine, been thinking about moving to it full time for quite some time, but I've just never been brave enough to take the plunge. So I picked up a laptop from one of my neighbours. It's a bit old, it's nothing special, but I thought it'd be interesting to see if I could wipe Windows off of it and install Linux on it and maybe use it for a while as my kind of main productivity laptop. So I'll still be editing and creating the videos for this channel using my Windows machine because I really like Adobe's Creative Cloud software, and it's, it does the job fine. But for my daily usage, like when it comes to web browsing and word processing, spreadsheets, that kind of stuff, I'm going to see how far I can get with it on Arch Linux. Anyway, that's the introduction over. Now, apologies in advance, I'm not a Linux expert. I have a very basic knowledge of it, but if you see anything that I'm doing on screen that's incorrect or inefficient, let me know in the comments. As much as I love sharing tutorials and guides with you guys, I love learning from the comment section too. Right, so first step is to make this font larger because this is tiny. So let's go to set font -double. There we go, that's much easier for my old man eyes to see. And let's clear this screen. Now let's connect to the Wi-Fi. So we want to type in IWCTL. Press enter. Now we are in the Wi-Fi configuration tool. Now let's type in device list, and this should show you all of your wireless network interfaces on your laptop. So my one is named WLAN0. Yours may possibly have a different name. So first let's scan for local Wi-Fi networks. So type in station WLAN0, so the name of your wireless adapter, and then scan. So whilst that's scanning away, let's go to station WLAN0 get-networks. And what this will do is kind of print off a list of all of the local networks that your Wi-Fi card has scanned. And hopefully you should see your Wi-Fi network there. In order to connect to it, go to station WLAN0 connect, and then the name of your Wi-Fi network. And then it should prompt you to type in the password. So hopefully I can remember this off the top of my head. Great, so I'm assuming that's done correctly. So once you're completed, go to exit. And now we need to test the connection. So type in ping-c, and we'll try 3 connections on google.com. So hopefully we should have bytes returned from, yep, there we go, 3 sets of connections made. Great, so let's clear the screen. Now we'll be relying on downloading a whole bunch of packages from the internet, so I think it's a good idea to make sure our system packages are all synchronized, and we can do that by typing in pacman space -sy and let it do its thing. And then after that type in pacman -key space -- initialize, so that's init. Pacman -key populate Arch Linux. Whoops, sorry, I typed that incorrectly. Before populate, you want to type in the 2 dashes again. That's my mistake. And let it do its thing. Excellent. Now let's clear that screen. Next step is to prepare your hard disk. So type in ls-blk. And here we can see a list of all the disks we have connected to this laptop. So ignore loop. So we don't want loop 0. And what we want to do is identify our hard drive that's stored on your laptop or computer. So I have a 1 terabyte hard drive in here, and according to this list, my one is NVMe 0N1, which would make sense as it's an M.2 hard drive. So just keep that in memory, the name of your hard drive. So I'll be using NVMe 0N1. Now what I'm going to do is, because I'm starting a fresh installation, I want to totally zap everything on NVMe 0N1. So I'm happy to just wipe it all clean and have a fresh start. So I'm going to go to gdisk space /dev /NVMe 0N1, which is the name of my hard drive, and then press enter. And then I want the extra tools, press X, press enter, and then I want to zap, which is Z or Z. Press enter, and then it's going to ask me, you sure? Yes. Are you double sure? yes, and enter. And there we go. And that should be good to go. So let's clear this screen. And now let's begin our Arch install script. So type in Arch, install, and press enter. Now up until very recently, whenever I would install Arch Linux, there was a whole bunch of manual stuff you'd have to type in the command line, but I only discovered this script existed like just a few hours before recording this video, to be honest. I didn't even know it existed until I watched a couple of YouTube tutorials of other people doing it, but this is pretty cool. So now under Arch install language, if you just press enter, you can select whichever language matches your needs. I'll be selecting English, and then go to mirrors and mirror region. And then select whichever country you live in, and then hopefully you'll get slightly faster downloads. So I'll be selecting United Kingdom and back. And then under locales, keyboard layouts, select your region. I'll be selecting UK, and then under locale language, I want to change this to ENGB, so that's English, Great Britain, but you can select whichever language fits your needs. I have no idea what locale encoding I should be using, so I'm just going to leave that as default. And then go back. Disk configuration and partitioning, and I'll be using use a best effort default partition layout, and then select your hard drive, and mine's the Western Digital Black, and I'll be using BTRFS, and I'll just be using the default structure, and then I'll be using compression, I guess. And there we go. Then we go back, and you can choose to encrypt your disk if you want to. I'm going to leave that for now, and then next go to bootloader. Now on this screen I would normally usually select grub, but I'm going to stick with the system deboot default setting for now. I have a feeling this might be the future or the way forward, especially for newer devices, so I'm just going to stick with that. And unified kernel images I'm just going to leave as false because I don't know what that is. And then next with the swap I'm going to leave as true. Hostname I'm going to leave as Arch Linux. This is essentially what you name your PC, so feel free to rename that to, I don't know, whatever you want. And then next, root password. So this is the master admin password that we'll be setting, so just press enter, select the root password of your choice. So as you're typing it in, you won't actually see any of the letters, so just press enter. And now we can add your user account. So press enter, go to add user, type in the name of your user. I'll just be using Retro Crisis. Press enter and then type in a password, and then it'll ask if you want to be a super user. So basically, do you want to give yourself admin rights? And go to, well, you can choose what you want. I'm going to select yes, and you can add more user accounts if you want to, but I'm just going to go to confirm and exit. Next is profile, and go to type, and this is where you can select which kind of desktop environment you want. So I'll be going to desktop, and then I'm a big fan of KDE Plasma, so I'll be selecting that. I kind of fell in love with it when I started using the Steam Deck, so yeah, that's what I'll be going for. And then next go to graphics drivers, and you can select whichever one fits your hardware profile the best, but I'll just go to all open source default, but feel free to do whatever you want. And then go back. And now we want to make sure we have an audio server selected, so go to it. I'm under the understanding that Pipewire has the highest compatibility, but I have no real idea, to be honest, so I'm just going to select Pipewire, and I'm going to go straight to network configuration, and I'm going to go to network manager. And now time zone. Here you have the opportunity to select your country's time zone, so I'm going to see if I can find London somewhere, as that's the nearest big city to me. It'll do. And automatic time sync is on. You can choose optional repositories if you want. I'm going to leave that. Then once you've selected all your settings, you can just go straight to install and begin the process. Now this installation process takes a while, so you might want to go away and make your lunch or dinner or do some work or have a workout, do what you want. Hopefully by the time you're finished it should be completed. So I'm going to go install and then press enter to continue and then let it do its thing. Right, so once it's done, you'll see this screen. It'll ask, would you like chroot into the newly created installation and perform post-installation and configuration? And you can just hit yes. And then once you're here, just type in exit and then reboot. And then providing everything went well, you should be presented with this screen, which is the KDE Plasma desktop environment. And then just type in the password that you set earlier on into this box here, press enter, and then here we go. You'll be presented with a kind of a welcome screen where you can just kind of flick through it and learn a bit more about KDE Plasma. Great, so I'll stop there, and hopefully I'll make some more videos related to my foray into the world of Linux. This has been Retro Crisis. Thank you for watching.